Well, good Wednesday morning and welcome to World of Science. I have a experiment today. We try to live in the STEM world, but today we're expanding it to the STEAM world. So we add that A in STEM, and that is for art. So science, technology, engineering, art, and math. And this includes science and a little bit of art. And this is geared more towards the youngest members of our audience because it is on the simpler side, but pretty much everyone can enjoy it. And I enjoy doing this because it almost is a little bit like a magic trick. This is called walking water. And right now you're looking at the finished product of what I did overnight. I started this yesterday evening. I waited for it overnight, and I have this beautiful mixture of colors, and it's a rainbow that I've created just from water, food coloring, and some paper towels. So how you're gonna do this, and I'm gonna show you the version with 2 glasses, and then I'm gonna explain how I did the bigger one. So walking water, I have a glass, and this works better with shorter glasses. That's why I've used shorter glasses here. I don't have any more shorter glasses, so I'm gonna demonstrate this with some taller glasses. I've got this about 3/4, a little bit less than 3/4 of the way full. And this glass is empty. This glass is completely empty. Let me back this up so you can see this a little better. That's perfect right there. And you can pick a food coloring. When you're just doing this with just 2 glasses, you can pick whatever color you want. I'll explain how I did this one in a second. So for this one, I'm gonna pick blue because that always seems to show the best, just the water movement. So I'm gonna add a couple drops of blue there. And we're gonna stir this all up. We're just gonna shake it up a little bit. Let it sink to the bottom. And you're gonna take a paper towel. These are just, I think these are like brawny paper towels. The thinner ones tend to work a little bit better. So if you've got the nicer, thicker paper towels, the ones that are actually useful for picking things up and picking up moisture and everything, those don't seem to do this experiment as well. But you can do some trial and error. That's what makes an experiment with what works the best, what glasses work the best, what colors work the best, and that's how we make it a science experiment. So I folded this in half and then I folded it again. So I've got a thin strip of paper towels. And you're gonna dip it in the side with the food coloring, and then you're going to make a little connection here with this. Now this isn't gonna happen immediately, but it's gonna happen over time. And you can see it happening a little bit with the water moving up the paper towel here. When you leave this over time, the water will move up the paper towel and continue to spread across the paper towel on this side. Why this is called walking water is if you leave this for a while, the water from here will start to move over into this glass. And it's super impressive because it's working against gravity. I mean, this is going upwards. It's working against the force of gravity and pushing into this glass. And over time, so 3 of these glasses did not have water to start off with. And you can see every single one of them has water. And because the water has walked from one glass to the next. So this is what we call in science capillary action. The paper towel has fibers in it, and the water is moving between these gaps in the fibers and is allowing it to travel. And the attraction between the fibers and the water is stronger, and it can overcome the force of gravity, which we know is extremely strong and holds a lot of things and is the power and the force behind a lot of things and a lot of the actions that happen in science. So if you leave that over time, eventually, you're gonna see some of this water travel over into this glass, and it's all through the medium of the paper towel. This is very similar, in a way to make this make sense is when you water a plant, you water the roots of the plant. And that's also capillary action because that water is traveling through that plant up into the leaves. So you think about how, if you water the roots, how is it getting to the leaves? That's capillary action. It's fighting against gravity. It's going through the roots to the leaves, to the stems, just to make sure that the entire plant gets the water and the nutrition that it needs. So how I did this one and how we're gonna bring art into this is when I made this experiment, only 3 of these glasses had water in them. And so it was the red had water in it, the blue had water in it, and the yellow. I know that looks kind of orangish, but I promise it's yellow. You can kind of see it a little bit on this one. It's yellow. Those 3 are the only ones that had water in it. So I used my primary colors from my food coloring, and that's what I started with. And I folded the paper towels the same way, and I connected all of them. So what happened overnight is as the water from the blue started to go into this cup and the water from the yellow also started to walk into this cup through capillary action, they combined. And when you have those colors that combine, those are your primary colors, blue and yellow make green. And so I did not put green food coloring in here. This is what happened overnight with the colors mixing and the water mixing. And then you have red and you have yellow, those mix together to make orange. And then you have blue and red, and those mix together to make purple. Again, I did not put purple food coloring. There was no orange, there was no green. This is just what happened through that process of the water and the food color mixing overnight. And this is so cool. And you can come back and you can do this several different ways. You can combine different colors to see what's going to happen. So this is a little bit of an art experiment as much as it is a science experiment. And it's a fun way to understand how plants get their water. Capillary action happens at a lot of different processes in science. So this is just one really cool way to visualize how you can see some of that water move through some of those fibers and fight against the force of gravity. So there you go. Super simple, super easy, and should be things that you can find around the house pretty easily. And that's what we try to do here since we're all kind of stuck at home right now and we only have the availability of the grocery store. So these are all things that you can find at the grocery store: paper towels, food coloring, and then a couple of glasses. So that's it. That's your walking water. And we are about, I guess we've got 4 more experiments after this before the end of World of Science. And I've got some really fun things planned for the last 4. Again, Monday and Wednesday, every Monday and Wednesday at 10:15, we do World of Science. So I'm going to talk to my producer, Tim. Tim, does anybody have any questions, any comments, any concerns? All right. Ah, awesome. He said lots of people checking in from across Georgia, saying that they love World of Science. I love World of Science. I love you guys for checking in. And I hope you guys have a fantastic Wednesday. We're in a really nice stretch of weather, so I hope you're enjoying it. And it's the first, I've lived in Georgia almost my entire life. And I can't remember a time that we've seen such an extended stretch of true spring. Usually it goes from winter right to summertime, and we're stuck in that heat and humidity even in May, and that's not the case this year. So enjoy the spring weather that we have, and enjoy a beautiful, beautiful Wednesday. All right, thanks for tuning in to World of Science. If you try this out, let me know. Send me a video, send me a picture. I always love to see when you guys do the experiments.